in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. It's all in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. Now get your hands up. 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 It's all in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. Come on. Come on.
What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of the season, episode 5. What the hell? What the hell? Welcome to another episode. It's your girl, Brianna.
And your girl, Kamari.
And today we are interviewing sound engineer, Ksenia.
Hey.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Hi.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Ksenia, aka Sound Engineering. I'm a recording, mix, and mastering engineer, and I'm located in Chicago. I have a studio downtown Chicago. The name of the studio is the Major Studio.
Perfect.
Yeah, beautiful studio, y'all. We're gonna have to see it in the vlogs because it's really nice.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna get into your origins so we can get to know a little bit more about you and the fam can know about you as well. So, what is the first song that you listened to that made you want to get into engineering?
That is, I don't think I can answer this question. I feel like I never knew that I wanted to be an engineer.
Mm.
It was like, I guess you know how they say when you, this is my favorite thing. So, you know when you say, oh, how do I know that I'm in love? You know, how do I know that I'm in love? And they say, oh, you're gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was for me. I came to the studio and I was like, okay, that's it. This is it. Like, this is it. I don't want to leave anymore. And I never left.
Yeah.
Like, since that day, I never left. Literally, never left.
So who'd you come to the studio with?
That was also like a pre-story to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like 24 and I didn't know what I want to do with my life, and I was bartending for about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years already.
Mm-hmm.
From Russia. I'm from Russia, by the way.
Okay. I didn't know. I couldn't.
Yeah, she does have an accent. I just couldn't figure out what it was, and I didn't want to be rude and be like, yeah.
Oh, I just pressed the button on the
No,
microphone.
you're good.
No, you're fine.
You're good.
Okay. So I'm originally from Russia, from it's like a small town in Siberia, and I came here when I was 20 by myself, and for a couple of first years here in the U.S., I really didn't know what I want to do with my life. I was just doing everything, and at some point I was bartending at nightclubs, and I was bartending for already like 4-something years, and I was like, maybe I need to start looking for something more serious. Maybe I need to start looking for a career. And I knew that I always knew that I like music, but I knew that I'm not talented enough to make music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not a great singer. I don't have a talent, like a natural talent for singing, or I don't play any instruments. And I'm already kind of like 24, 25. I'm already kind of old to pick up a new instrument. So I was dating this guy, a really cool guy. He's Ukrainian, and a really cool guy. We're still friends. I was dating him, and he was really into those books about, I don't know if you know, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh yeah,
like
I'm
those,
reading that right now.
Yeah,
Literally.
so he was like really into those books. He reads books about everybody's success story.
Read. You should start reading. Just saying. Maybe you could be a sound engineer if you.
I feel like we all should start reading.
Don't appreciate the hate here. I just rather not. Yeah. I like reading. It has to be more of a story for me, and it's a lot. And I don't know if it's because in school you're like, you gotta read. It's like, now I don't want to because you made me do it, so now I don't want to do it. So yeah,
I just had to make fun of her. But
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
should read books every night.
I just fall asleep right away. I just
See?
did. Yeah. It's
Okay,
just
so
like,
I'm not alone.
But I feel like audiobooks might work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
that might
actually
work,
do help
yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he was into these books, and one time we met up and we were just sitting in the car and just like kissing and everything, and he goes, so I'm reading this one book about this one rich guy. He said, I don't remember exactly, he said either $50,000 $50,000 a day or $500,000 a day.
I mean, either way.
And I was like, whoa. And what does he do? He goes, well, he invested in over 300 businesses over his lifetime. And the first one he started with was a recording studio. And this was the moment for me. I was like, a recording studio. Maybe that's what I should try. Okay. And this was the moment when I was like, okay, maybe I should look into it. So I started looking into it, and I started talking to all of my friends about it. I was like, oh, maybe I started thinking about maybe I should work with like music. Maybe I should do music more. Maybe I should do something. And one of my friends actually was a friend with a studio owner. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, let me ask my friend. Maybe they're looking for interns. And this is how I got an internship at a studio.
Dope.
Wow.
Yeah.
You kind of like manifested it.
Yes.
Literally.
I literally just started like thinking about it and asking people around and talking about it. I feel like it's more about talking. When you talk about your goals and stuff, people be like, oh, maybe, I actually know somebody.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened for me.
Got you. Wait, so how old were you when you had the internship?
I was either 24 or 25.
Okay. Wait, how old are you now?
I'm old.
Which she can tell us off live.
Okay. I'm like,
I'm
old.
Yeah, you
You
look
don't seem
old.
old.
I don't know.
I'm
Now I'm like, I know we're not
questioning.
supposed to
Okay.
ask women their age, but I'm like, come on.
I'm not that old. I'm 32. I just turned 32.
You look,
Wow.
you don't look it
You don't.
at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought she was younger than us.
I
to be
thought
honest.
you were like 21.
What?
Dead ass.
Really?
I didn't think 21, but I definitely thought like maybe like 20,
Wow.
30, 24.
That's
Well,
crazy.
I've been doing this for 7.5 years now.
Okay.
Wow.
Got
Yeah.
you.
It's
Got
funny you say bartending because if anybody knows me, I always say in my past life I think I was a bartender because I love
Really?
mixing drinks. So we're gonna have
She
to.
can make a nice margarita in a mixed drink. I'll give her that.
I can fix stuff too because they butchered a drink one day and I was like, no, don't throw that out.
Oh, nice.
They were like, no, we're gonna throw it out. I'm like, we don't pour out alcohol in here. We're gonna fix this, and I fixed it.
So
You
Nice.
have to give me some tips because I want to keep growing
I got
as a
you.
bartender.
okay, so you interned. You said that was around 7 years ago. How long was the internship, and what did you learn from that experience? And what kind of like gave you the confidence after that internship to be like, okay, I want to have my own studio?
I feel like I came to that studio to get my internship, right? To apply for an internship. I came in, and the first question that the guy asked me, he was like, so what is your goal? I said, I want to open my own studio. That was the first thing that I said immediately to him. And he was like, oh, you're trying to be our competition. And I was like, I guess. Or I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But I feel like he didn't think back then. He didn't think that I was serious or that's actually going to happen. But then it kind of happened after 4 years. But, okay, so the internship. You asked me how long was the internship. The internship was supposed to be 6 months. No, I think it was supposed to be either 6 months or a year. And during that internship, I was supposed to record, mix, and master 2 full albums of two different artists. So that was like a requirement to finish the internship. Funny thing is that it's been 7 years ago, and those 2 artists still haven't released their albums.
Really?
Till this day, yes.
Just by choice or because they shelved it?
They were like still kind of working on them, still thinking maybe I do something else. One of them started releasing singles instead of an album, and most of those songs never got released.
Wow.
It's just at some point, I feel like it was maybe 3 months into my internship, and at some point I was like, okay, well, somebody came in, and they were like, hey, can you just please record me? And I just recorded the guy, I took the payment, and it was my first paid client.
Okay.
And the head engineer back then was like, oh, well, she can probably just take clients. And he just started passing me clients.
That's awesome. So does that happen often where you're mixing all this audio as a sound engineer and some of the tracks get shelved? Does that happen often, or like more than the average listener would expect?
Some of the tracks get...
Like you
oh,
said,
some of the tracks get...
yeah, like they don't get put out to the public.
Yes. Especially with the artists who are not really serious. I would say people who just do it for as a hobby, who really not trying to be famous or who really not trying to make money making music.
Gotcha.
That happens a lot.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
So getting into engineering and just you starting off, were there any like engineers that you know, saw as inspiration? Like, did you research like while you were trying to figure it out, or during your process of your internship? Were there anybody or producers that you like that like inspired you? Like, yeah, I want to keep going with this, or like how did that go?
No.
No.
Yeah. I have like a
Hard
specific
no.
yes. I have like a specific, I guess, vision. I don't really want to get influenced by anybody, and it's not like I just feel like I have my own specific style of mixing, and like a specific way I hear sounds and I hear music, and I sometimes hear things that are not there yet, and I'll be like, oh, this is exactly this is what I want to do to this specific moment in the song. This is what I want to do here and there. And I feel like when I hear other engineers, it kind of like I can easily change my mind, you know? And I just didn't want to be the first 4 years probably I was just doing whatever, and I didn't know about any famous engineers at all. And back then, 7 years ago, engineers were really not famous at all.
Yeah. It's only since recently there is this one podcast. I think it's called NTO, but it's this guy from Canada, and he literally, all of his guests are sound engineers, producers. It's everybody from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I was looking at a lot of their discography, their credits history, and they've worked with people like Drake and Kendrick, Kanye, so many of these top artists, but nobody knows who they are unless you're like a really, really in-depth music head. So like, I feel like you guys don't get a lot of credit where credit is due until these last recent years. And I think like majority of the reason why is because vinyl is not as popular as it once was back then. So when everybody would have vinyl records, they would actually read the credits on the vinyl. But now it's
even
like
CDs too.
CDs too. So with streaming, you see who's featured on the song and who's singing the song. You don't get to see that back end work of who's credited.
Yeah.
So
I actually like that you don't have somebody as an influence as well, because like Prince said before, he was like, I don't listen to nobody else's music. Like, I just make what I want to make. Because when you see different, you know, songs or just artists, their stuff kind of blends and everybody kind of sounds the same. So it's nice that you have your own different approach to it, you know, in terms of learning and, you know, going about it. Because then you have your own sound, which I think is cool. We need to have more people like that instead of riding the wave.
I just feel like I just get influenced. Not influenced, I just doubt myself. Especially when it's somebody who has Grammys on Grammys on Grammys, and somebody's like, oh yeah, you should do this and this and that, and you should not add echo right here, and I'll be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's the downside of it, because then you start comparing yourself.
Yeah, but when I just focus on my own thing, when I just mix a song on my own without listening to anybody, I love it, and then a client ends up loving it always. So I'm like, okay, I should just never listen to anybody. I should just listen to myself.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say, so you're like not opposed of constructive criticism, but like you won't have influencers who are in the industry have their say be the end all be all. Is that what you're trying to say?
I accept constructive criticism from clients.
Got you.
Like this
Makes
is this is the one person who I'm listening to.
Right.
Like anything you tell me to fix, I will fix it for
Got
you,
you.
because you have to like the song, not me.
Right.
So, scenario, what if there was a producer, like you have this song that you like and that you want to give to a client or whatever, but there's something that's missing. Do you go to another producer to try to see like, hey, could you give me some advice, or would you not want to hear from them? Would you just figure it out on your own, or is that something that you would take constructive criticism from them
from a producer?
Yeah, or from a sound engineer or anything like that? Would you?
Yeah, well, yes. I feel like there's always room to grow, and I feel like if somebody will be like, hey, what if you try this and that, I will try it. I will always try it. I will always say yes to everything. I'll be like, okay, cool, yeah, let's try it. But if I end up not liking it, I'm probably gonna fix it back. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. So let's talk software. I know nothing about audio engineering, sound engineering, producing any of that.
Same.
What's some of the type of software equipment that you have to use, whether it's the actual software, the actual boards, equipment, all that? Get into that.
I'm using Pro Tools. That's the industry standard for recording pretty much any instruments or vocals, but mostly vocals. Then there is Ableton and Logic, that also used by other studios or by studios here in just like everywhere, I guess, in the world. But Logic and Ableton, but they're more user friendly for people who want to make beats.
Gotcha.
But the one that I'm using is Pro Tools.
Okay.
I'm more focusing on vocals.
Okay.
Like vocal recording, mixing, mastering is like my thing.
Yeah. So not in a sense where if somebody wanted to bring in their guitar, their drums, their bass, all that, that's like a different type of audio engineering?
Kinda, yeah. Like recording and mixing live instruments is just terrifying to me. It's not terrifying. I can do that, but imagine, you know how, like, even if you look at this thing, right? While I'm speaking, you can see that this microphone is picking up my voice, and this microphone is also picking up my voice.
Right.
And then imagine there's a drum set. It has 8 microphones, like 2 on top, 1 on top of the snare, and then 1 on the bottom of the snare. And then every single sound is bleeding into every single microphone.
Got you.
So there's like 8 tracks of recording, and you have to make it sound good somehow.
Yeah.
And this is just something that I don't want to do.
That's something them old head sound engineers would do. Like literally before everything was so digitized, because now you can have software program where it has all those instruments and beats on there, and that's how people make beats right now. People don't know. There's some people who don't know how to play the drums or the guitar or any of that, but let me just press a button, beep, bop, boop, and then there's the song right there. What was the learning curve like for you? So when you first interned to where you are now, what was that learning curve for you to get to that industry standard?
So I think the first 3 years, I was just pressing buttons and just like turning knobs, and it's just, oh, okay, this kind of sounds cool. Yeah, all right, okay. But then it was this one moment, it happened 2 years ago as soon as pandemic started. And I just want to, like, I feel like everybody in life, all of us probably, especially people who live in Chicago, at least once a year, we have this one moment when we're like, let me just critically rethink all of my life choices and, like, let me just, you know? And I remember I was going through a moment like this, and I was like, maybe engineering is not for me. I should quit. And it was, I think it was 5 years already into it. It was 5 years of me engineering. I was like, well, I'm just going to go back to bartending. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, pandemic happens. And everything just gets shut down, and I can't bartend anymore. And like all of the studios in this building, everybody just go out of business. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, it was crazy. So I was sitting there and thinking, maybe I'm just going to go and work as a cashier somewhere, you know, like things like that. And then one of my engineers told me, and then I've like, till that point, I remember I kept thinking, I'm just not good enough at this. Maybe I don't have clients because I'm not good enough or something. And then one of my engineers goes, hey, so there's this record label, TDE. Kendrick Lamar is signed to it, like all of these really cool people. So their main engineer, his name is mixed by Ali. Ali, he's yes, literally, he was on that podcast I was just talking about. Yes, he's probably the most famous engineer right now. So they did him and personal Jay-Z's engineer. His name is Young Guru. So they, I guess, combined forces, and they started this competition. They were like, hey, so engineers from all over the world apply for this cool competition, blah, blah, blah. The main prize is $5,000, right? And one of my engineers told me about it, and I was like, sure, I'll send my song to it. And I really didn't think that something's going to happen. I sent my song to them, And then maybe like a week or two later, it's already pandemic. I'm having a session here. We all in masks, sitting here recording and stuff. Somebody just started, like, people just started messaging me on Instagram out of nowhere, like, hey, you gotta go to this live. You gotta go now. So I went there, and I see there's like 4,000 people in there, and they actually picked my song. Wow. They were like, hey, so they picked, I think they said 2,000 people from all over the world, and they picked 32 with the best mixes.
Wow.
Yeah, so every round, half of the people would go. So they picked me. I was in the original 32, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So every round they would give us prizes. That would be like plugins or some headphones or stuff like that. So I was in 32, and the first round I was so nervous. I was like, man, some guy over there was Grammy nominated, and I was like, I'm going against these people. So first round, 16 people left, and I stayed in the 16. Then the second round, 8 people left, and I stayed in 8. And then after that, I was in 4. And then I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And then I went all the way to the finals. It was 2 people. It was me and this guy from Malaysia, and this is when everything just blew up for me. People started messaging to me from like Africa and Canada and like everywhere. Everybody's like, hey, can I get a mix from you? Blah, blah, blah. So I lost. I lost the competition. But I went all the way to the finals, and I got a whole bunch of prizes, and I got a whole bunch of clients from everywhere. But the guy from Malaysia, his final mix was actually better than mine. It was actually better. He's really good. I feel like he just did a song for Disney.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like he just did. I still follow him on Instagram. He's really cool. Like, he's really cool. We talk sometimes on Instagram. But I feel like that was the moment for me when I was like, okay, well, I knew that I'm okay, but I didn't know that I'm actually good, you know? And this was like, okay, I'm actually good. Okay, fine, I'm actually good. I'm going to keep going.
Wow. The power of the pandemic. I feel like the pandemic was such a trash year, but there are so many stories of gems, like so many small businesses that skyrocketed, entrepreneurs that skyrocketed, and artists like you, engineers. So it's kind of just destiny, the universe, God, whatever you say. But you had that initial imposter syndrome. You're going to give up. Yeah. And then there was something that happened out of your control, the pandemic. And then look where those circumstances gave you. The platform of Instagram, I swear.
Crazy.
Even though Instagram is addicting, you know, people scroll the screen time, all the negative stuff. But, like, if you truly see Instagram and social media for what it is, there's so many people that made their opportunities worthwhile. Oh, and, like, you're literally a testament to that.
Yes.
So, but also, sure, Instagram and, you know, the circumstance of having Mixed by Ali. And then what was the other sound engineer? His name? Young Guru giving you guys that platform and that opportunity. I still think you had it in you. Yeah. But you needed that validation. That validation. And sometimes validation is great. Yeah. You know? Like, even though, like, in the beginning you said, like, you maybe don't want to, like, listen to anybody and stuff like that. But because you had that validation and that from the clients at least, like, look at you now. Like, look at the studio. And this is only the beginning. I bet you're going to have even nicer. You're going to have your own building where you're going to be renting out studios.
I hope
you know?
Maybe like, we can collab or something, have a building
I'm
together.
just saying. We need money in the studio, so we can, you know. So,
yeah, for sure. I think a lot, like you said, like a lot of stories we've seen in the pandemic, everybody hit, like, their low. And a lot of people either stayed in that low or they, you know, found a way to get themselves out of it. So it was nice that you had that opportunity to be able to.
The fact that you just said yes.
Yeah.
Because you're
that's
like,
something. Yeah, because some people would be like, you know what, no, I'm depressed. I can't go outside.
Right.
You know, just fuck it.
And out of 4,000, 2,000 people?
Right.
You made it to
we
the
have
finals?
the top 4 finalists up in here.
Ksenia.
Top
Only the
2.
best. Top 2, sorry.
Oh, wait, do we have an applause?
Oh. We have the top 2, only the best on All in the Fam, guys. Yeah, but for sure, like that's very inspirational, and I hope
Thank
somebody
you.
that listens to this gets something from that, because I think we all go through that at some point in time
Yeah.
where we doubt what we're doing and we don't know if it's good enough, and then there's that spark or something that comes out of nowhere that we're not expecting it, and it's like, okay, let
Yeah.
me keep going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely the moment for me. And I remember the pandemic started, I had $200. That's it. In the beginning of the pandemic, the first day, I had $200 in my pocket. And I was like, no, what am I going to do? And literally a week after that, people just started messaging me. Like, hey, you're in the competition. I heard your mix. Hey, can you mix my song? And back then I was charging $60 a song. Right now it's $250.
Hey, and today's
Look at that.
price, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
True.
So when y'all see this, it probably will not be $250.
Yep.
So
That's
just
true.
stack your coins.
That's really, and the irony too that you had
Yeah.
$200 in your account and now you're charging $200
Yeah.
plus dollars.
Yeah.
I like that. Full circle. Full circle. That's great. So we're gonna transition. So genre. What would you say is the type of genre of music that you mostly do engineering for, or do you just do anything, or do you prefer a genre?
You're talking about just the genres that I engineer?
Yeah. So like
Not the series. that I
your
do,
clients
but-
that come in, what genre are they normally in?
So just because I'm in Chicago and I started in Chicago, my first 4 years was just drill. It was just all hip hop. It was drill music.
Makes
It was
sense.
yeah. It was like it was all it was all that for a long time. Then when I kind of when I got more people that I record, when I built my clientele, I started picking singers myself. Like I would be kind of like go through some people and just be like, oh, what about, would you like to record with me? I would offer a free session and stuff. But right now, I would say R&B, pop. I did have a couple of EDM songs, but EDM producers usually like to mix their own songs. Like they like to do their own stuff. And yeah, so it's hip hop. And I'm really good at hip hop. It's like second nature to me right now, just because I did it so much. And I'm trying to get more into pop.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to just engineer the next hit. Like the next hit.
Yeah.
I
I
believe
don't-
it. Manifest it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like country, but country, no.
I don't like country
Okay,
too.
good. Yeah.
I like music in general, like
Yeah.
any kind of music. I can work with anything, rock, country. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Folk, I'll do that too. I'll do whatever, like
What
anything.
is like
I will
folk?
do
Is
it.
that like the yodeling type?
No.
I
I'm
feel like
trying
that
to
would
think.
be like,
would
you
be-
know,
Oh,
like the guitars and
I can
stuff.
see that.
yeah, alternative folk would be like Mumford and Sons. That's all I got. Brandy Christine. Brandy
Don't know
Christie.
who that is. Sorry.
I think that's her name.
If
That would be
you're
like
watching.
alternative folk.
Sorry, sorry if you're watching.
I
But-
don't know who you are.
Anything. I will engineer anything. I can probably do anything, but I prefer pop, R&B, and like light hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we like too anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the music that you were vibing while we were setting up, and that was songs that you engineered, right?
The ones that were
I
said.
played
Oh yes.
one.
Oh, you played one.
But then she went into the ones that she
Yeah.
engineered,
Yeah.
and then potentially like a potential
Yeah.
client.
Yeah, it was great.
So, but they all sound good.
Mhm.
But I love this studio. But anyway,
Thank you.
She's trying to visualize where
yeah, I
we're gonna
really
be next.
am, because you know me, I come in clutch, you know, when it needs to. So maybe something will come out of this. But getting into, now that we did, you know, genres as what you work with, but let's get into genres. The platform
Okay.
that you did you start that, or
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into that. Like, let us know how you started that and what came about with genres.
So I'm very big on. I'm trying to Okay, so I find all of my clients online. Almost all of my clients that I have right now, they all came from Instagram.
Okay.
I really believe that Instagram is the new Google.
That's how we met.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah. Like you can find anything on Instagram. Anything.
Hashtags, people. Please put hashtags on your stuff.
So as soon as I understood that, I was like, okay, well, people should be able to find me on Instagram. And when I was like, you know, not Googling, looking for other engineers on Instagram, I noticed that their content is really boring. It's always boring. So in my head, I'm like, I have to look interesting to anybody, not just artists. Like my main demographics is not engineers or not people who want to look at the plugins or look at me sitting at the desk. My main demographics is artists and what artists are interested in. They're not interested in Pro Tools or like looking at the screen or something like that. So I was thinking, what would be a cool way for me to display my work, my mixes? Why don't I just start shooting like little music videos here, like little performance videos in my studio, like to the songs that I've done. And it actually kind of like worked really well. I feel like that probably found me a lot of clients. And then recently I started noticing that a lot of other studios started doing that too.
Now you done started a trend. Look
at you. Pioneering out here. But that's good. Like, I like the platform for that because it gives the artist a chance to do something different on their end and not necessarily have to do it on their own. They can do it with the person they made it with, so that makes it more of an experience. So, in your own words, when you're creating, like, these songs to put on genres, what are the, like, key components to a good song? Like, what makes the song for you?
So I usually pick the songs myself. I usually don't. Even when the artist be like, hey, can I put the song? I'll be like, how about that other song? So it has to be something different about the song. It has to be, of course, it got to be like a very good performance. It got to be a very good, I guess, very good voice or like talented person. I feel like unusual melodies that you can really hear, that you won't hear in other songs, and maybe a different arrangement. Let's say the regular song is chorus, verse, right? And there's a song that starts with a bridge, and then there's a bridge, and then out of nowhere there's like a verse, and then there's a chorus, and then there's a verse, and then there's the bridge again. And you're like, whoa. So stuff like that. I really like different stuff. Like different voices. Let's say it would be a very deep voice or a very high voice. Something that, or a singer that can go from high to low and just go crazy. Something like this. I like to display people who are who can you be like, oh, wow, that's cool.
I like that. I feel like we need that now because it's so, like, everybody's stuff is...
Right?
Everything sounds the same and you want, like, a different sound. And it's like, and a lot of artists get criticized for trying to find a different sound. So it's nice to know that there are other audio engineers or producers that are out there that are, you know, pushing for that because... Everybody just wants to ride a wave, and it's like that's not. After a while, it's like, okay, what else? Like especially for music lovers, it's like, what are we supposed to do? Listening to the same 5 songs and they all sound the same. So that's nice to hear that you like push for that with your artists, and that low key can help them grow too because it's pushing them out of their comfort zone.
I think a good artist would be like Billie Eilish. Because she can go from Ocean Eyes to Bad Guy. And those sound completely different.
Her brother Phineas is cold, too. Like
amazing.
I'm pretty, like, she can sing all that shit, but the stuff that he come up with, that's cold. Like, I'm pretty sure she got some hand in it, too, but...
Yeah, he just dropped the album, too. I just bought his vinyl the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's on tour right now. Shout out Phineas.
So, what is the best song you ever released, and why? Or what was your favorite song to work on and why?
Okay, so from that one competition, that was in the first round when it was 32 people, they gave us a song. They gave everybody one song. And
is it a known song or?
I feel like it's I don't think so.
Okay.
It was a girl from London.
Mm.
Her name is Link Hustle. So she really liked my mix, and she actually connected with me after the competition, and she was like, "Hey, can you mix this one other song for me?" She sent me this one other song, and till this day, it's my favorite mix ever. If this was another competition, I would send that song.
You're going to have to let us
Yeah.
get it so we can clip it in here.
The name of the song is "Millionaire" by Link Hustle.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have to put that in there.
Put that in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So how do you approach artists to work with? So you said Instagram. Now what's the pitch like? Give us that elevator pitch, because
Hi, my name's Ksenia. Would you like to work with me?
because sometimes people just don't know if you're scammy or not, or
Yeah.
not saying you are, but like there are scammers out there. So it's it could be hard to somebody who's being approached through Instagram, kind of like weed through the weeds, you know. Like, so what's your pitch? How do you get the artist? How do you slide into those DMs?
Okay, so I always thought my page has to look presentable. I have to look presentable. I can't have a picture of my cat and then a picture of my dog and a picture of my food there and be talking about, hey, I'm a sound engineer, come record with me. I can't do that. So I made sure. I've been working on my Instagram for forever. I don't really post anything that's from my personal life. It's everything has to do something with the music. Even if it's a picture of me modeling on the couch, there's still the caption's still gonna be like, hey, if you want to look like you're laying, if you want to sound like you're laying on the couch, come record with me. Or I don't know, because I always tie everything to music. And in the beginning, it was harder. I feel like I had to be like, hey, well, come record with me. I'm going to give you the free hour, da-da-da. But now, if I really like an artist, I'll be like, hey, I really like your music. I would like to work with you. And then they just go to my page. Yes. And then they just go to my page and they'd be like, oh, okay, well, she engineers. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I can look. You can see all of my work on Instagram. You can see everything on my Instagram.
So you kind of let them, you get straight to the point, you kind of let them take the initiative to check you out, do their research on you. Okay.
But that's good that you have your platform together, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They don't have the brand.
And that's just very disappointing, because you have a lot of people that are very talented. But if
Yeah.
you don't put time and consideration into your look and how you're presented, then that takes away from all of that. So I appreciate that for sure, because that's why when we were looking at, different engineers or producers or
because she looked thoroughly.
Yeah, I look thoroughly. Like, I look, because I want to make sure that if you're going to be a part of our brand or you're going to be in the family, of course everybody is welcome, but the people that we want to bring on to the show, we want them to have some type of quality or something. If anybody wants to learn, they can learn from people who are putting in the work and effort into what they're doing. So that was a very key component to why we wanted you on the podcast, for sure. But that's just something that people need to put effort into. Like, put effort into yourself. Like, you can sound good, but if you don't, it's like the saying, if you look good, feel good, you do good.
And I'm pretty sure you did the same thing with us when, Kamari reached out to you. You probably looked at our page and were like, oh, they have the aesthetic, they have the brand, they're serious about what they're doing. We didn't have pictures of our dogs, of our cats, our personal lives. Like,
we even took our personal. I think you took the personal out the bios too.
Because we're also private too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I feel like that's how everything works nowadays. Even when you try to talk to a guy and he messages you on Instagram, you're like, okay, let me see.
Yeah.
And then you go to his his page and you
okay, she don't look at guys. Sorry, I play for the other team. We'll look at the guys. She looks at girls. Lord. Anyway, let's get into your working style. So, like, what do you do to prepare for a session? Like, do you meditate before? Like, what is your working? Like, what do you do? I see there's a vibe in here, so I wish we could show you guys. You got to watch the behind the scenes, because we'll show you them. But it's definitely a vibe in here. So how do you prepare? Like, what do you do?
This is like, I feel like I'm really lucky that I found myself, because I'm this is like, let's say there's a stress somewhere in my personal life. This is how I release my stress. Like, I don't need to go to the gym, I don't need to drink or smoke or do anything. This is my thing. This is like my thing. So every time I come here, I'm ready. I don't need to like prepare myself for something. I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. Yeah. So many times I was going through a breakup, through even like a family member died. I remember I come here and I forget about everything. I'm just in a zone.
Yeah.
This is my thing.
It's your
This is
sanctuary.
yeah.
That's good. You definitely decorated it. But it's really nice in here, y'all. I really like it.
Thank you.
Do you, when creating whatever song you're working on, do you have like a signature that you leave in the songs? You know, certain people will have, not like, you know, when you start off and they be like, oh, this is beat by, or.
Oh, like a tag?
Yeah, not something like that. But is there something that you know in every song that is something
That's
that
your
you,
stamp.
yeah, that's your stamp on it? What is that? So we can start looking.
I don't even know if I want to say it.
Oh, true. I mean, give it away.
If you don't want to give it away so other people don't take it, for sure you don't have to. But
But you do have.
I
something.
do have a
Okay.
couple of things that I haven't heard at anybody. I haven't heard anywhere else.
Okay.
And there's this one specific echo effect that, even in the competition, they were talking about this one specific echo effect, and they were trying to guess how I do it, but nobody did.
Okay,
And I'm
good.
not
Yeah,
like,
don't give it
Keep
away.
it, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, let us know off camera because I'm interested in it.
We don't know how to use the programs or anything, so we ain't gonna steal it.
Yeah. So, from start to finish, like, how do you create, like, the song? Like, how do you go for the concept of, like, what you're going for, whether it's, like, melodic or, you know, something up-tempo? Like, how do you go through that with the artist? Like, it's from start to, you know, completion.
Well, most of the time they already kind of know what they want to do with the song. They come here prepared most of the time. But if I hear, let's say somebody came in and he's rapping a song and I just hear that it's going to sound better if he just puts autotune on and just like starts autotune rapping, you know, I'll try to say it, I'll try to suggest it, but it all depends on the artist. But most of the time I'll be like, I will kind of trick them into it. I'll be like, hey, why don't you just try it again, but try it in a little different way, and then try da-da-da-da, and they'll be like, okay, cool. They try it, and they end up liking it. But most of the time, they usually know what they want to do with the song. I just enhance it.
Makes sense.
I love that
sense.
word.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the personal. So, speaking of like working with an artist, how do you approach like the sensitive task of like discussing with them, hey, I think you would sound better with autotune? Like, how do you approach that with them?
So kind of
Like,
what you just explained,
Yeah.
but like going more in depth.
There's definitely a set of tricks that I learned, because you can't really tell them, yo, you're trash.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
No, this was
'Cause they
horrible.
paying you.
Yeah, you can't really tell because they're also artists, very sensitive and stuff, and sometimes people can just shut down. But the most songs, the best songs come out when you just having fun in the booth. When you're just having fun, it's always the best songs come out like that. So that being said, most of my clients are my friends now. Like if I was getting married, I would probably have to invite all of my clients to my wedding because everybody's
it's gonna
like,
be a big wedding.
yeah, yeah, because we just end up being friends all the time. But I will always say, hey, can you do that part again? Or like, can you try again? Or why don't you switch the flow? Why don't you da da da? But it would always be a suggestion. It would. I would never criticize.
Smart.
Yeah, I'll never tell them, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do this. I'll be like, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And yeah, that's pretty much how I do it.
So you said that you can't really sing. When you layer vocals, how do you get them to get to the vocal that
So
you
you
want them
so you
to
have a good ear for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So like, do you play like? because you can't sing it. Do you play it? Do you play it on the piano? Like what note you want them to, or like do you?
Okay,
just...
I can sing a little bit.
Okay. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out.
I bet you she can sing.
I think she can too.
But
you have to be, if you're doing vocals and you're comfortable with that, you have to be able to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Especially when you're stacking like that. Like, I love Brandy. Brandy stacks vocals really well. How she gets certain shit out of them, I don't know how she does it. So, for you to be able to have to tell somebody how to stack, you have to be able to vocalize that just a little bit. So, I was just wondering how you do it.
Most of the time, I can be like, hey, can you just go, huh? Or like, huh? Or I can tell them.
I
guess, girl.
I can tell, but I'm not a singer. But if it's an advanced person, like if it's somebody who, like last year I was working with a guy who was on The Voice in 2017, and he lost against the winner too, so he's really good.
Okay.
Of course I can't tell him how to sing.
Right.
I can't even, like, I'll try, hey, can you go high? And he's gonna laugh at me. He's gonna be like, oh, that's not right.
Like, girl, don't you mean?
Yeah, of course I can't really tell these people, but I do have, we have a team, and we do have a vocal producer who is incredible. Okay. He's incredible. Okay. He can sing any note anywhere you want, and he hears everything. So sometimes I invite him to the sessions.
To have that extra ear.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider going into different industries? So right now you're with music artists. Would you ever go into film or television, sound mixing, podcasts, beat software? Like, would you make specific mixes for software that other people can download? Would you ever consider any of those different types of industries?
Yes. I've been trying to get a movie score or any score for like 2 years now. I just really in November, actually, I released my own project, my own album under my name, but it's a collaboration of my best clients. And I specifically was submitting all of these songs to like movies and games and stuff, and we almost scored Call of Duty. Call of Duty actually reached out to us. Yes, but we didn't get it because there were way too many curse words in the song. Can you imagine
GTA.
this?
But they
Maybe GTA
in the game. Yeah, GTA, y'all. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of killing. I mean, I guess.
They told me, hey, can you make a clean version? And I was like, yes, but they needed a clean version the next day. So I couldn't even invite the artist here. One of the artists lives in Atlanta now. The other one somewhere on this, like, super far on the west side, like, he doesn't have a car. And I'm like, so I created you know how sometimes they blur mute the words, and it was just every line. There was just every line.
Probably after the fact that you did it, you're like, oh wow, there's a lot of curse words.
That would just make me mad at that point.
Right?
It's like, just leave the curse words, because once you hear it, it's like,
yes.
Man, it's like, there's no fucking point in the song then. Like,
exactly.
They do that on the radio.
Exactly.
That shit bugs the fuck. It's like, just don't play the song, please.
Yes.
It's no point. I don't understand that.
So, but that would be $35,000.
Damn.
I'm not gonna lie.
Would you get royalties off of that?
That would be royalties, yeah.
Damn.
That would be streams, yeah.
Hey, maybe we need to
see, I encourage artists not to swear on your songs if you're trying to get placements.
Don't curse. Listen to your grandma.
Songs.
You could have had $35,000.
Shoot, some people grandmas be cursing too, so maybe just listen to Ksenia. Don't. Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, the song that they had on like Halo and stuff, I sing that song. Like, that song is fun too. Like, but it's just people just like that. That's all it is. Like, but the shit is cold.
Yeah,
so,
Halo. They're just making I think they made a TV show, and the score for that, you already know it's gonna be on point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch. I think it's on Amazon, right?
I think so.
I'm gonna have to watch that because I played a game. It's on Xbox, but it's so whatever. It's still fun to do.
One of my clients actually has her song on 2K, NBA 2K.
Damn, which one?
It's Loretta Mars, Post Up. She recorded
All right,
it here.
basketball. Yeah, I don't play 2K, and I don't.
See, that's the only game I
too.
really have experience with.
Really?
2K and FIFA. Yeah, I don't really do the war games.
It's fun. You know, you get to let something out when you play those games. But oh, hey, this is about a podcast. We're gonna go back to that. So, what do you like to do for fun outside of working on music?
That's very hard. I really.
We know you bartend.
Yeah. Yeah, but
That seems like more of a
bartending.
job.
I recently got into cooking.
Okay.
Like, you know those like really cool recipes, like when it's a huge plate and a little thing in the middle, and
Yeah.
Also,
like, put-
fancy gourmet.
Gourmet.
When they be making it art.
Because I was gonna plug,
And it costs
Feasting with
$200.
the Fam that we had, last season. But if you're into more, grand, then you might not want to watch what we do. I mean,
No,
it's still good,
I'm
but,
like I just somehow just got into cooking. I come home every day and I'm just like, oh, let me just try this miso glaze with this, like some mushroom
That
steak,
sounds so
you
good.
know,
I'm so
right?
We're the opposite. We're just like, what's on DoorDash?
Right. We're like, we don't feel like cooking tonight. And I can cook. It's just I don't
You can.
feel like doing
Most of the time,
I can't.
I used to be like that
tries.
too. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened. I'm just
You just got to urge
Yeah.
for it. Yeah. It comes and goes. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think, you get tired of eating the same thing all the time. So I think just having that
Yeah.
urge to do it. But I think now, like, low-key, it's funny you said bartending because I don't know if everybody knows the black guy on Facebook, but he's going, hell, and he makes all of these different drinks and shit. I want to do that, but I want to, like, make them for fun. And maybe like I don't know, like a cookbook or something, or what do they call them?
Ooh.
Like T-Pain has one.
Like a
I wanna do
cocktail
that.
book?
He has a cocktail book, and I want to try the different stuff in there. So I need to get that. But yeah, it's just fun to do. I guess after you're,
I feel like you can
unwinding.
do so much fun stuff with alcohol.
Yes, you can.
Like I used to set some stuff on fire.
Uh,
Yeah. No,
Our
yeah, like
faces.
so.
Yeah,
So like I even have a video on Instagram, I feel like.
this
There's
must be another Instagram, not your working one.
there is sambuca shot that you can set on fire, and it's like a cool thing that you can do.
I think I've seen that.
with my
They, like,
clumsy
is that
self.
the one where they lit up in like colors? It was like the color of the rainbow, and then that one was cool too. We gotta, man, we're gonna have like a drink show that's coming next on All in the Fam, cause that sounds like fun. So, do you have like a hobby to deal with like creative blocks? Like, is cooking your hobby that helps you with creative blocks, or do you have something else besides cooking that will help with that?
The best thing for me is to travel. I just need to leave. I need to. If I
Scenery.
overwork myself, I have to get out of here. I have to literally change everything around me, absolutely everything around me, for like 1, 2, 3 days. And this is when I'm like, oh, I have to go to the studio. I miss the studio so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absence really makes the heart go fonder with like anything, not just with people. I agree with that too, because when we get into like All in the Fam or like creating a process here, I do find myself having like a creative block every now and then, and just trying to make sure that it's interesting to other people, but something that I would want to watch too, but that's also different
Yeah.
from everybody else is doing. And when I can't figure that out, I'm just like, okay, I don't want to do anything else. I just try to vibe out or like do something else. But
Yeah, because we totally get it. Because that's why we have gaps in our seasons. Because there's some podcasters where they will just go 400 episodes back to back to back to back to back, no break.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
We're going to have our pre-production. Right now we're in production and then post-production. And then you will not hear from us for 6 months.
Same.
we want to miss it. We don't want
Right.
it to
Yeah.
be something that's like, oh, we gotta get up and do this shit again. Like,
Right.
it's
We
already
don't want to get
enough.
tired of it.
Right. It's already enough that we have to do this like every weekend, which is
Yeah.
still getting up and having the energy to do that once. And we all have full-time jobs, so that and personal stuff and dating or whatever. That's a lot to put in, and then this is supposed to be your focal point, but now you don't have the energy for it. So
Right.
I definitely think our breaks are very much needed too, because then we're like, who we can't wait for the next one. Like
Right.
sometimes we'll be in the middle of a season and like it's almost, time to air.
Yeah.
And we know the break is coming. We'd be like, damn, we can't wait for the next one. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's weird like that, but yeah, for sure. Did you have any?
It's the same with genres. Right now, I'm on my break, and it happens every year. Like I just shoot, and now genres are getting a little bigger because we started getting clothing sponsors, and we do more photography stuff, and like a genre shoot comes with a whole bunch now. Like we play games, we have fun. It's cool, and I'm like, I just need to take a break because I'm here most of the time, and I try to, and I edit genres too by myself. So I try to edit that and shoot and do all of this, and I'm like, no, I just need a break.
And
I just
that's
need a break right now.
Post-production is a whole different beast. Because, like, for you listeners or viewers, like, right now, what you're seeing is production. Well, actually, you're seeing the post-production.
Yeah.
Like, to get to that post-production stage, to edit, to cut everything out, to make sure all the equipment synced up, like, that is a whole different
And she'll be like,
beast.
girl, just wait to do that. I'm like, no, because if I don't do this now, if this all builds up on me now, because that's kind of how it was like last season. Like, I didn't let it build up. I still edited as we went along, but we didn't have our intro ready. So we had to make sure we put the intro on top of the video and then export it and then put it to YouTube. And then that took forever. And for some reason, I don't know why that takes so long to upload, but it's ridiculous. And you have to, go through, what do we use? Adobe Premiere, whatever.
Adobe Premiere.
And it moves the way it wants to. Like, trying to render all of that stuff, it's...
You would think in 2022 there would be some type of way to airdrop your
just
videos
put it
and
to YouTube.
songs to
Like,
YouTube. Because this upload
They
stuff.
make it so complicated.
Now we're just venting to you.
Yeah.
But I totally understand you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's annoying. But, at the end of the day, once you see, like, what you created and how it all comes together, I think that's, the fun part. But it's nice that you have, like, something else to take your mind off of that so you can come back and actually miss what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you interpret creative direction from artists? So let's say I'm in the booth and you're out by your board and I'm having like a creative block. And how would you interpret and kind of get that creative block out of the artist so it would be better feasible for you to produce the product, the song that they want?
I feel like there's a very big psychological side to this. So I have to recognize the problem. Is he uncomfortable? Is he shy in front of me, or is he shy? What's the problem? Is he not ready? Did he not rehearse? Something's happening in his life. Like all of these things are really affecting your craft. Does he need to relax? Does he need to go smoke? Does he need to have a drink? Does he there's so many things. There's so many things, and I feel like when I see like that also kind of like gives me, I don't even know, like, what's the word, the satisfaction, I guess. Like, I like when I can recognize the problem and I'll be like, okay, well, do you want me to turn the mic around and just so you don't see me, and I'll also have like a couple of like a set of tricks. I'll be like, hey, come out, let's talk about it, or like, hey, come out, let's see what's going on, or maybe, hey, close your eyes, or hey, let me turn the lights off everywhere, or let me do da-da-da, Yeah, so stuff like that.
Yeah. You seem very personable because I would think stereotypically people who are more behind the scenes, more with the engineering side, they're more introvert and they're just here to, okay, you go ahead, sing, I'm going to do what I do, But like you take that initiative to be like, no, I'm here to help you too and get you out of those creative blocks. And I feel like that's what makes a really great producer, engineer, anybody who's not in the forefront of the music, but more in the behind the scenes. They have to still be personable, not necessarily extroverted, but know the psychology and that human interaction. So everybody who is touching that product gets the product out there to the best that they can.
It seems like what you get the best work out of anyway, if you both combine what you're, going through. That's what, I don't know if you've seen it, but Mary J. Blige put out the My Life documentary that she did on the album that she did, and she said that her and Diddy were going through something at the same time, and they kind of just like pulled that out of each other, and that's how they were able to do that there. So it's nice that people can connect on a different level, and that's how you can get somebody out of mentally what they were going through. Or
and to not be superficial too.
Yeah.
You would...
Because I'd be terrified. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I like how certain people, like, let them turn the lights off and let them just mellow out and do what they need to do. Or if they want to dance with them behind the window. Like, I love how different people have their dynamics together, because that's the fun part of making the record. So
yeah, it seems like you let people be their authentic selves, because if you were superficial about it, then you'll be a part of that industry stereotype where they're always trying to change the artist, and the artist is not who they are, or what they perceive to the public is not who they are. So to see that you're more personable and let them be more authentic, that speaks volumes. So keep doing that.
Thank you. My ex-boyfriend actually is one of my artists, and it was one of those relationships that we were together for like 3 years, and we broke up and got back together, broke up and got back together. So every time we would break up, and I'm the only engineer he records with. And he's like, he's been recording me for 7 years. Yes. He's been recording me for 7 years, but we were in a relationship for 3, and we just broke up, like, recently. Like, finally broke up. So, every time we would break up, before we got back together, he would write a song about it. And he would come here and record it with me. And that was like...
That is awkward. I'm sorry.
It was, in a sense, but then... Those songs were, like, when I'm listening to them right now, I'm like, these songs are literally my best mixes, your best songs. Wow. These are, like, the best songs that people will definitely 100% relate to.
But then again, like, y'all went through that experience together, so that's something that can make the behind, like, or the feeling about it, but that's kind of weird.
But like, how is it to be right there and be like, damn, this nigga talking about me?
Why'd you come out here and we'll talk about it? Right? Can you leave that part out? Because I didn't like that one.
That's damn. The very first time he was a complete asshole about it too. We broke up. And the next day he goes, hey, let me get in the studio and record. I was like, well, okay, fine. He comes in here with like 7 of his friends, and they're all sitting here, and he's recording a song about me, about the project.
Fuck you.
So he literally went Big Sean on your ass.
It wasn't like that. Like, it wasn't like, hey, I hate you. It was like, I'm sorry it didn't work out, and like we tried and blah. Like, it was a good song.
Okay,
it was a good song, and it was not like, hey, like, you're a fucking bitch, like, that's all your fault. It was more like, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I tried, but I just couldn't do it.
I'd have been like, hold on, come out here and let's talk about it.
And I remember I was sitting and crying through the whole session, recording him and crying, and all of his friends in the background was just like, drinking and partying in there, and he was recording a song about me, and I was like, wow, that's horrible.
That's crazy.
That is fucking horrible.
Toxic.
Yeah. Very toxic.
Which we don't promote around here. So let's get that together, guys. Yeah.
So other than him, what is next for you? Not relationship-wise. I mean, like...
Because this is... Yeah, we're going to have to meet the next boyfriend, too.
This is not the Wendy Williams show, but... What is next for
canceled.
You? That's a whole different thing. What is next for you professionally? What can you at least disclose? You don't have to disclose everything if things need to be a secret.
Yeah, tell us later.
I've been trying to get my Grammy for a while now, for a couple of years, and I feel like right here, I don't know if I will be able to get my Grammy here or no, but I'm trying to expand to other cities, and tomorrow I'm going to LA. For a week, I started working with a couple of artists there, and in like a third week of April, I'm trying to go to Atlanta and work there for a couple of weeks, and possibly Atlanta would be the move for me because it's a little easier over there.
Yeah.
Than in LA, but
it's also cheaper.
Cheaper, yes, yes. So I'm just trying to expand to other states.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully somebody will notice you here, so Chicago can get
claim those Chicago roots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Although Russia too, but
yeah.
but Chicago for sure. But I really hope it does work out for you. But we're not even gonna say hope. We're gonna manifest it here.
Yep.
On All in the Fam on this episode.
Because when you do get your Grammy,
right,
you can look back and be like, yeah, I was on the podcast.
Yeah.
On the Fam.
yep. When they do your documentary, be like, yeah, on All in the Fam, I was on this episode.
Yeah.
We'll give you the vlog footage for the documentary.
Yeah,
You know
We got
what?
you.
I'm gonna go
We got
on
you.
stage and get my Grammys and say, "Hey, I was on the podcast, guys. I want to say thank you."
Yep.
Yeah, just make sure you say podcast All in the Fam. So
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay.
Give credit where credit's due.
They'll be like, okay, this you was on the podcast. All right. What are we supposed to do with that?
Is this your
Yeah.
first podcast that you're on?
No, it's my
Okay, so you're
no.
popular. Got
That
it.
was
No.
that was like
Okay.
no. I've been
This is the
okay,
best
so
one, so
I've been
whatever.
yes, I've been to 2 other ones, but one of them never nobody ever heard that because he never released it.
Oh.
And then
Wow.
the one other one, it was actually a couple of weeks ago, but they were talking about the war a lot, and I was just
Yeah.
I was just not
Yeah.
feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually have fun this episode. So
Yeah.
this is her favorite podcast episode.
It
and
is.
will stay her favorite one. So let's end it off on a positive note. We're gonna go into our top 5. Do we have like a top 5? I wish we had something like that.
We will. One of these days.
What's top 5?
So top 5 is you're gonna pull from this jar and you're just gonna give your top 5 whatever
Okay.
theme that we're giving to you.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, am I
That's
good to go?
cool.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to get into top 5. So Ksenia is going to go ahead and put her hand in this bowl. You all have seen it because this is episode 5, so you know what the deal is. And she's going to pull out a topic or a whatever, and then she's going to give us her top 5 for it. So go ahead and mix it in there.
And if I don't like it, I can change it.
You can most likely change it if
Yeah.
you don't like it. We'll see. You might like the ones.
Okay. Album covers.
Ooh.
Oh,
We would
I
have
feel
to
like
get
that's gonna
screenshots
be-
of the album covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Okay. Top 5 album covers?
Yeah.
I know what's number 1 for me. Damn.
They don't have to be in order if you don't want them to be either.
And they don't have to be the same genre.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go with my clients' album covers because, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, this is all the music that I listen to.
That's
And-
nice.
Way to shout it out.
But okay, so top 5, and they have to go in order.
They don't have to be in order.
Just 5.
Now that they're
my
clients, they
goodness.
definitely don't have to be in order. I don't
Yeah.
want nobody feeling offended.
Yeah. Okay. So I really you know what? You can they're all of them are on my wall right there.
Dang, don't have my contacts in.
Wow, I can see some of them
Yeah.
with the lights in the way. I'll go ahead and look after it.
Okay, so my favorite some of my favorites are Alan the Official, How They See Us. It's on the wall right there. It's you're gonna get all of those, right? You're
Yeah,
gonna-
we'll take pictures of them.
So Alan the Official, How They See Us, it's a song about I just completely blacked out. I'm sorry.
No, you're
But
fine.
it's a really cool song. It's just a really cool song, and it was very it's just a really cool song, and you're gonna see the cover art. It's a song about remember when all the movements with all the protests and stuff, when all of that was happening.
Oh, Black Lives Matter and
Yes,
stuff like that.
yes. When all of that was happening, he wrote a song, and it's an amazing song. It's an amazing
his
song.
name?
Alan the Official.
Alan the Official.
So yeah, he's the cover art is amazing. Then I have that's gonna be funny. I have this one client. His name is Pretty Boy Tracy, and I recorded him since he was like, I don't know, 17 or something. So in my 16, 17, in my head, he's like a little boy, like now he's 20 something, 22 or 23. He's already grown up. He go to clubs and drink and stuff. See, he released a song, and it's like his torso with no shirt, and I'm like, oh, this looks so good. But then at the same time in my head, I was like, oh my god, it's like I'm looking at
you of age?
what am I looking at? Like, I'm looking at my son, but like
Yeah.
this looks so good. Oh my god. Like, that cover art is awesome. Like, really awesome.
So that's 2.
2, yeah. Then Loretta Mars, Post Up. That's the song that was on NBA 2K.
Okay.
That cover art is really dope. She is just her sitting in like in a pile of money, I think. Then one more. Nike. His name is Nike. He's from London, so he has this accent. One of my clients, he has a project he named Orange, and his cover art is orange, and it's just him on it. And I thought that is so simple and so beautiful and so cool. Oh my god, yes.
Love it.
And my number one cover art that always grabbed my attention is actually not one of my clients. It's Summer Walker. What's that? The pink one with the telephone?
phone.
Oh,
Over it.
yes. I think that's the best cover art I've seen ever.
Wow.
Because no matter what, I remember I opened my Spotify. What's that? I want to click on that. Yes.
Right.
And it matters.
Yeah.
Like, it actually matters. When you look at other cover arts, you're like, I don't know. But that one, I was like,
I think it's
that?
like the psychology of the pink. It grabs your attention. And
Probably.
also, it looks like a candid photo because it's kind of like, wait, what's she talking about? Why is she on the phone so mad?
Yes.
And then you listen to the album, like, oh, she over that. She over
Yeah.
it. Like, it tells a story.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great. That wraps it up. Super happy to have you on the podcast. It was an honor to talk to you, and thank you for inviting us to your sanctuary.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, thank you. It was amazing. It was so much fun. Thank you.
Let the fam know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram as K Sound Engineering. That's it. You can find me on TikTok if you want to. If you're on TikTok, you can find me on TikTok. Also, K Sound Engineering. You can pretty much find me all over platforms as K Sound Engineering.
And if you want to work with her, just send her a DM.
Yes.
That'll work too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. I'm your girl, Brianna,
And I'm Kamari.
and we're all in the fam. See you guys in the next one.
Bye.